Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by once again. I appreciate it as always. Today I got something in the mail that I'm pretty excited about. I got the new Shadow Systems +3 magazine extension for their 15 round CR series of magazines right there. So that takes this 15 round magazine to 18 rounds of capacity, plus the one inside of the pistol. You're rocking 19 rounds of 9mm in a package that is really small. That now brings the Shadow Systems CR920 series of pistols to a greater capacity than the SIG P365X macro, which is a 17+1. I do believe the SIG is a little bit shorter in 17+1 configuration versus this in the 18+1. So, you know, that's something to consider. It does, you know, kind of extend the grip pretty significantly, I would say. But also the CR920 series of pistols is thinner than the X macro still. So it's kind of a give and a take. It depends on kind of what dimension you prioritize in your carry gun. My kind of use case idea for this one is on the flat range, obviously. I'm gonna be using this for training, for capacity, having to reload less at the range and, you know, shoot more. But also a larger magazine like this with a larger extension on the back can be really advantageous when you're doing appendix carry. When I appendix carry, I use this Tier 1 concealed Axis holster, and sometimes with the factory magazine, the flush fit magazine, in the sidecar portion, which is this side over here, it's a little bit low. There's not a whole lot of material to grab onto when you're trying to index that magazine on a reload. And so running a larger magazine like this 18+1 configuration kind of brings the extension up, and now you have a larger piece of material to grab onto when you're doing your reloads. Can make the reloads a lot easier and a lot faster and more consistent. But also, you know, I can still run a flush fit on this side and reduce printing on this side, which is where most of the printing happens, is right here, and then have a nice even, you know, profile as far as everything on the front of my belt with this extension. So if I'm running a sidecar holster, this is going to come in handy, in my opinion. Now, sometimes I open carry in certain situations, but I also carry outside the waistband and underneath a jacket or a coat. So like if it gets cold outside, I'll carry in my T-Rex Arms
Ironside.
So this is a pancake holster right here. Very simple, extremely well designed, very tight, very low profile. You can see right there, extremely low profile. If I'm carrying outside the waistband, I'm either open carrying or I'm carrying underneath a large coat or jacket. So I'm not really worried about printing in that regard anyway. And so I'm gonna be running this larger extension just to give me more capability, more capacity. I might as well. Another way I carry is off body. So sometimes I carry in this 945 Industries, I think it's the Quapple. I think it's like quick access, something pull, whatever. I'm really not sure of the acronym, but this is a nice way to carry comfortably in somewhere where you don't really want to print at all. You don't want to have anything that even looks like the silhouette of a firearm. Some people say that you can tell, you know, like if you're carrying this, everybody knows you have a gun. Maybe so, but there are certain situations where this is comfortable. Long road trips, this is fantastic because you don't want to have anything on your waistline when you're sitting in your car seat for, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours. You can have this here on your chest, your seatbelt, you know, goes underneath it. And then if you ever needed to, you would just grab this with your left hand while you're driving or whatever, pull it down, and you have access to your firearm. So this is another kind of scenario that I would carry the 18+1 capacity magazine, because I don't really need to worry about the small form factor of the 15+1 flush fit. I just want to have the most capable package I can. And this magazine extension still fits within this crossbody bag perfectly. And you know, you have quick and easy access to your firearm if you ever need it. So those are the three sort of, you know, scenarios or setups that I would really run this magazine extension in. I guess technically 4 with the range, but otherwise the 15+1 capacity to me is still more than enough. I just figured that if you can have more capacity, why not, right? But let's go ahead and go top down, and I will go ahead and show you guys how to install this extension onto your magazine. It's a little bit different in the way that it goes on than some other ones that I've seen before. Not terribly, but it's a little bit different, and hopefully you find this information helpful. If you do, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all the things. You already know what to do. It's very helpful and I appreciate it a whole bunch. So let's go ahead and go top down and get into it. All right, guys. So here's what comes in the package whenever you get your extension. So it comes with this little cardboard that staples these two bags together. In the first bag, you have your actual extension right there, your +3. And then in the other bag, you have your replacement spring and follower. So first things first, go ahead and take out your spring and follower, and then take out your base plate itself. There it is right there. Then what we're going to do is disassemble our factory magazine. So super easy. Take a tool, whatever you have, something skinny to push down here in this hole. There's a steel floor plate inside of there, metal floor plate. All you're going to do is push down that a little bit, just like that. You can hear it. And then push off the base plate. Remove your tool. Make sure you hold your thumb over that. You can already see it wants to shoot out. Make sure you hold your thumb over this so it doesn't shoot out on you. Remove the base plate, put that aside, and release the spring right there. So the factory 15 round magazine spring is much shorter than the 18 round magazine spring, which is a good thing. Some companies will sell extensions like this, +3, +4, +5, and they won't replace the spring. So you basically have a low power spring inside of your magazine. So sometimes it can cause malfunctions due to not being able to, quickly enough feed that next round from the magazine into the chamber. So it's nice that Shadow Systems gives you an extended spring to work with the extended base plate. Shouldn't have any problems. If you see some of this white stuff on it, a lot of Shadow Systems magazines and components come with dry lube on them, so don't be alarmed about that. Totally normal. You can actually see it inside of here, all that dry lube. Just kind of helps, aid in lubricity for the spring as it goes up and down inside your magazine body. Next thing I'm going to show you real quick is kind of how these work. So you can see right here, you can see the extension all the way around. Got some texture in the front. Little Shadow Systems logo on the bottom. You see there's a small shape right here, a little button right there, and there's a little tiny button on the top. So that is how this two-piece magazine extension comes apart. What you do is take your tool and depress that button right here, just like that. You can see it kind of pops out the top, and then pull these apart. There's your two-piece right there. So these just integrate with each other. They just interface like this, and it slides together. Pretty simple. What's kind of neat about this design is that when this is pushed down, is for some reason, if that came up during your shooting or your training, the bottom of the grip of the gun actually holds that button in right there. So it's a self-retaining system. So just kind of another fail-safe, which is pretty cool. So what we're going to do is take this apart like this. Grab your factory magazine body right here. You do not need to transfer the stainless steel plate. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. In this case, you do not need to transfer this. Hold on to it, obviously, and keep it with your factory spring, but we don't need this. You can set this aside. All we need is the new spring and new follower. Align the direction of the follower, kind of slopes down with the slope down of the top side of your magazine, just like this. There you go. You can just, it just looks right. It looks like a round would sit in there right. So you always know which direction to go. If you put it in wrong, that's what it's going to look like, and that's not correct. So go ahead and insert your spring, just like that. Go ahead and take the larger piece of the extension here. If you look right here, let me see if I can get this to focus up. There you go. Right at the bottom of this larger piece, there are two channels. You can see them right here. I'll use this. Right here. There's one channel there, and then one channel right there. So that is where these tabs on the side of the magazine body are going to integrate with the base plate. So what you're going to do is kind of push that spring into the body, however you need to. So compress your spring down just like this inside of the body of the magazine, and then just line up the channels on the base plate with the rails on the magazine, just like that. Kind of slide it in to capture that spring. Release the spring. Don't, try not to let it poke out. There you go. And then fully push it in. Now your spring is captured on the inside of the base plate. Grab your other piece right here. The button side, the round button, goes up the magazine. I'll do like this to be less confusing. Faces upwards, and this one faces towards the bottom. Just find the groove inside of here to line up these two wings. May have to push them in just a little bit, just like that. Slides right in. Make sure it's nice and tight right there. Push down on that plunger and you're done. There you go. So that is your magazine extension fully installed. And with that installed in the gun, it looks just like that. Pretty slick. Super easy, super simple. Sometimes springs can be a little frustrating, just trying to cram them down and they pop up and everything. Might take a couple of tries, but just do your best, be patient. It'll happen soon enough. But that is the Shadow Systems +3 extension for your 15-round CR series of pistol magazines. Takes it from a 15 to an 18, and then with the +1 in the chamber, which is how you should always be carrying, you have 19 rounds of capacity in a very small, very capable pistol. So guys, if you enjoyed that video, please like, please subscribe, leave a comment. It helps a lot. If you guys have any more questions for me, please drop them down below. I'd be happy to help. But until then, remember guys, talk less, shoot more. Peace.